brand. Yes, I'm on a personal mission to bring relationships back to the forefront of marketing. I believe wholeheartedly that relationships will always be more powerful than marketing, and I believe my personal mission here on this world and this planet is to inspire people to love more, give more, and do more through the art of authentic relating, because every transaction truly is an exchange of a relationship. And the more that we can focus in on how to authentically relate with our clients and our audience and our team members within our companies, the more power we have to be a craveable brand. We're going to break down what craveable means. So, anybody have children under the age of, or I should say preteens in here? Okay, yeah, you guys are my people. We're all still surviving, thankfully, with this age group. But how many of you have heard of Visco? Yeah, my kids keep me hip. I know these terms now. The Visco girl. It's like this new thing. It's this app, right, that the kids are on. And they're knowing, like, what these Hydro Flax are and all the Visco starter kits with these Crocs. Who would have thought that Crocs would be trendy, right? They even sell, like, the accessories to put in the Crocs now. And so what was on my daughter's birthday list were all the Visco Girl starter kit items. They even had a birthday party themed Visco. They didn't own any of these items, but they wanted them. And why did they want them and want to share them? It was because their friends were talking about it. It was now cool. Crocs that were not so cool when I was putting them on them as a kid, because it was a lot easier to clean sand out of Crocs than their shoes, and they were hating me for it, now is this trendy thing. And when I showed them my chokers from the 80s and said, oh, I was Visco back then, they're like, no, Mom, it's these chokers, these specific chokers. What inspires people to want to get and be a part of something, this culture, this thing, before they've ever heard of this company or wanted to do business with this company? It used to be just in the fashion industry that people could inspire trends based upon what their friends and family and people around them were saying. And then it was also the music industry, right? That had the power of creating these trends. People wanted to listen in because others were listening to this band. They created this culture. But now the definition of peers is a lot different. Peers aren't just who we're connecting with, because the people that they're seeing on this Visco app were people that they didn't know, but they're still buying into it. They're still wanting it. Let's think about this for our company. Are we craveable? Do we have the power to create this similar kind of craveability within our business? And it doesn't matter what business you are. I tell you, actually, I work with some of the most unsexy industries there are, like Mr. Manhole, like it literally cuts holes out of the ground, and we've been able to make him go viral. Thank you, Wave, using their tool. Nuclear pharmacy, like how do you make that craveable, right? So it doesn't matter what brand you are. You could be Crocs. Every brand that's out there, though, no matter if it's a niche of a niche of a niche of a business, is amongst a sea of samesies. If you look at any item, Google whatever you do, I guarantee you there's someone else that does that thing. So it's super hard to be craveable when you're up against someone else that has the same exact offer, problem solving, goal setting that we have as a brand. So how do we stand out amongst a sea of samesies? I tell you, it's not what we do, but it's how we do it. This is the shift, and this is the key. It's not what we do, if we stop focusing on what we do, but focus on how we do it, in creating an experience. This is the first step in building a craveable brand. In fact, it's proven. If you want to look up a study called Walker 2020, and this was done over 8 years ago by Coca-Cola, Intuit, Amazon, all of these big companies spending buku bucks trying to figure out this shift in customer psychology, customer behavior. What is making them choose one brand over another? Why would they go and purchase some product that was more expensive than the competition? And they found out the number one reason somebody's going to purchase from one brand over another is based on one thing: Any guesses what that one thing is? And you can just yell it out. What is the one thing that would make somebody choose one brand over another? What did you say? You said price? Price? What was another one? Craveability. Yeah. Relationships. Experience. Who said it? Yes, experience. Woohoo! Lord. It is experience, which it does go into the relationship aspects. It goes into that craveability. Experience is that key, and experience is a verb. It's how you make people feel when they're working with you. But here's the thing. 60% of the buying process is over before you get to talk to someone. It's done. They're already on this journey, and you have no idea that it's happening. So how do you make somebody feel something when you're not even talking to them yet? It's almost cruel, right? They're searching online. How do you build this experience when you don't even know that it's happening yet? Some people say it's marketing. Oh, I hate to break it to you. The only person trusted less than a used car salesman and your ex is marketers. People do not trust marketing messages for good reason, right? I mean, we've done a really bad job of marketing. Marketing ruins everything, like every social app, and I'm a marketer. But we ruin a lot of things because we go in there, we try to game the system, we try to convince people to do business with us. We do these claims that sometimes are a little deceiving, and consumers have wised up. We have wised up, right? What's the first thing you do when you go to purchase something big? You go and search online, right? The smartest person in the room with the salesperson is the consumer that has a smartphone and that can compare things right at the fingertips. And what do we look for? We want to see what other people are saying about a product or service. We want to do our own research because we don't want to be bamboozled or fooled or convinced of something that may or may not be true. That's that buyer's journey. That's that 60%. We're looking and we want to see what others are saying. So now that we know our best advocates for sales is what? Where are you finding your best leads right now? Where are all of you getting your best leads right now? Yell it out. Facebook? That's good. Instagram? Wow. Networking events? Referrals. All of those are word-of-mouth referrals, really. Word-of-mouth referrals is the #1 generator of business. Word-of-mouth referrals. And who is your most profitable customer today? A repeat customer, a person that's already done business with you. So if we know now that our #1 referral of business is word of mouth, and chances are it's done by the person that's already done business with you, right? And they're spending the most money. This has flipped the sales funnel process that we've all been told on its head. The sales funnel is dead because 88% of people will trust peer recommendations now as well that aren't even people that they know. Again, going back to that Visco thing. It's people that they're seeing online. If you think about it, you go to Amazon and you go to shop on Amazon and we look at the reviews. Do we know those people that are leaving the reviews? Chances are not. I was looking for restaurants here to find chips and salsa around the area. And I looked and was looking at the reviews. What are other people saying about this company? So that is now the peer recommendation. This is our word of mouth now, has now grown to world of mouth. So the sales funnel as we know it is dead because the sales funnel says customers come in, this top little funnel, this magical funnel where they drop in, they become a lead, then a marketing qualified lead, then a sales qualified lead, and then they're a customer. And great, now we got a customer, but we're gonna need to dump more leads in order to get more customers at the end, right? It's this whole funnel concept. Keep dumping them in, keep dumping them in. But if our customer is the one driving the leads and they're our most profitable customer, then that means they never leave the funnel. There's no funnel. The funnel is dead. So what replaces it is this flywheel. Amazon's created flywheel. HubSpot, if you're familiar with HubSpot, they have flywheel. You can search the term flywheel and find companies' flywheel. Because now it's all about the momentum that your company creates with the customers that you have, creating this amazing experience that's going to keep your brand growing. It's the only way of sustainable growth now and in the future. This is our flywheel at Now Marketing Group, and I believe that it all comes down to caring for your customer. Because if experience is that thing, and that's what they're deciding on, and if we're relying on word-of-mouth referrals, then we must care and out-care our competition. That's what's going to make this shift. So we're going to break this down, but CARE is an acronym to help you remember the steps. It's capturing attention. They first have to know you exist, right? When they're on this journey. Articulating our message, because if we want word-of-mouth referrals, people should easily be able to say what it is that you do that's so special and what makes you great in order to refer you on to someone else. The R is all about relationships, my favorite letter in it, how you can cultivate meaningful experiences that will make people loyal for repeat referral business, and that E is the experience. This is converting now your clients into advocates, your team members into evangelists for you, your community into collaborators. By growing this, then your momentum is going to keep growing. Your energy that you're putting out is going to attract more people like you. So what will make our customers care for us? You know, this is an old saying, nobody cares how much you know until you know how much you care. How can we make our clients care about what it is that we're doing and what it is that we want to connect with them for? If we shifted our mindset and started thinking like a celebrity, how do the celebrities do it? Who can you think that has a really great tribe that is like a celebrity, that has tribes around them that flock to them and really advocate for them online? Taylor Swift? Yeah, what they're the kitty cats or something, right? Something like that. What's that? Lady Gaga, yes. Who else? Ellen DeGeneres, yes. That's a great one, yeah. Any others that you can think of? Beyonce, yes. We as brands have this influence over others, and it's the consistency factor that we come back to of aligning with our core message that makes all the difference of people sticking with us, staying craveable with us. It's shifting this mindset of instead of people buying from us, that they're belonging, right? So instead of them just buying, what are they belonging to? What does it say about a customer if they're buying something from you? What are they really belonging to? So if you were to write this down for your company and say, our customers belong to this brand manifesto, if you will, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute on how to break that down. But what are they belonging to at the end of the day, right? Beyonce, Queen Bee, we talked about her. She's got a huge tribe online. Everything that she releases, people are sharing it out. And on the flip side, what happens if somebody says something negative about Beyonce? Her beehive, and that's what her tribe is called, will swarm in and they will attack. It is not pretty, okay? You do not want to be against the beehive. But you have this in your own company. The clients that really, really love you, they're going to advocate for you and also defend you once you've built a great brand that stands for something. And here's how you can reward them. So speaking of Queenies, these are some of the Queenies that I go onto digital retreats with. We're called the Queenies. And we go on these retreats, and at first was just to support other women. We talked about changes in digital, how you can show up to really, own your voice online and to really encourage other women to go after speaking engagements, to go after, owning their own business, to really find that network of other women that were going to support them. Well, we started this, and we went on our first retreat. This was like just a concept at this point, right? We posted online that we're going to be going live and sharing this topic. This company, Agorapulse, how many of you are familiar with Agorapulse in here? Few hands. This company, Agorapulse, they're a social media scheduling tool, reached out to me and said, you know what, I really love what you women are doing. We want to treat you to dinner and wine. I was like, winning? Like, yes, of course, that would be amazing. But here's what got me. All of us were already Agora Pulse customers. All of us have already been purchasing their tool for a while. They weren't trying to woo us. We've already been wooed by Agora Pulse. We've already bought into what they were doing. But what they did was brilliant, because what did we do at dinner and after several glasses of wine? We're going live like, we love Agora Pulse. Even more so, we were already advocates for them, but they got it. They got the shift that's happening. That instead of spending money, that $100 and whatever dollars, to do some Facebook ads to target more people, they could invest that $100 and something dollars in our dinner and wine. And how many more people are we going to tell? And which one is going to be more believable? What 8 women are saying and advocating for this company and how we're using it, giving real examples of how we're investing and in using Agora Pulse in our own business? Or a Facebook ad of them trying to market to somebody that's maybe never heard of them before? Brilliant. Now they're in my slide and I'm telling even more people about it. It was a really wise investment on their part. They get it. This is the shift. And I'm not saying you have to buy all of your customers dinner and wine unless you want to. I'm going on another one here in a few weeks, but unless you want to. But it really is just paying attention. Here's the shift. Here's how you can break it down. I'm going to move so you can take screenshots of this if you'd like. But it's thinking about it this way. All your followers, you said you got your clients on Instagram and Facebook and several others. What if we stopped thinking about them followers and said, what can we do to change our followers and convert them into true fans? There's a big difference. Fans believe what you believe. They're willing to share your content. They're willing to engage with it, not just like your page because you invited them, right? What about your clients? What would it take to shift from having clients to making them advocates? What kind of personalized experiences could we create to make that shift? What about your community? Community, what I mean by that is others like you that believe what you believe, and the clients that you both maybe have a common interest in, that you can partner together maybe to do live streams, to do a webinar, to co-author a blog together, to share in a Facebook group together. Your community of people that you're like, I really like what they're doing. It could be other agencies like you. It can be companies that are, I hate the word competitors, but complementary to what you do. I do a live show each week with another agency owner, and we bring in other marketing agencies to share their expertise, because there's enough clients out there for everyone. But the community is strong. People are going to work with who they feel most comfortable with. And here's the one that's often missed. How can you convert your team members into evangelists for your brand, where they believe in what the company stands for so much they're willing to share it out, advocate for it, tell their friends and family about it, and not make it a requirement that they're just having to share the social media post because the boss told them to? What if they're willing to and wanting to do the takeovers at the company? What can we do within our companies to make this shift? What can we do to shift our mindset from making it so people love working with us? Because if people love working with you, they're going to insist that their friends and family members do as well. Our message is bigger than our products. Our message being our why, our brand manifesto, how we're showing up and solving. It's that personality. It's the thing that's really hard to articulate because it's felt. It's not seen, right? How can we articulate our message in a way that makes it easy for people to be able to refer us on and to say what we do? When we do this with clients, we first start with a discovery. We first start with a discovery questionnaire, and this is something you can do within your own business, of writing out who is our ideal audience? Who's our ideal personas, as some people call them avatars? What is unique about them? What does a day in their life look like? Where are they going online to get information, news, resources? What are their biggest pain points? And sometimes their pain points aren't directly aligned with what you do. Maybe their pain point's time, right? Or maybe their pain point is, not being able to, retain their team members. But maybe your service is something that is the means to help them with that, but they haven't connected the dots yet, right? So writing out your ideal personas. You can go to makemypersona.com. There's a free version online on HubSpot that walks you through that process if you've not done it before. But writing that out first, and then writing out what makes you unique in what you do compared to others that are out there that offer what you offer. What makes them really, really great at what they do? What do they do well? But what do you do really well? Writing those things out, knowing it ahead of time, knowing the questions that your clients would ask you before they even do business with you, because that 60% of the buying cycle where people are on this journey, if you already have articulated those answers on your website, on your social media, on your videos that you're putting out, then this is helping them along that journey to truly understand the answers and how you're showing up. And then easily have your statement of here's what we do that's so succinct that everybody in your team is aligned with it, that makes it easy for your audience to then to really truly understand what it is you do. Because you may have a ton of services that nobody's going to potentially remember, but if you just had one core message of here's what we do, easy peasy, then clients can refer it on more often. So let your audience know how they can help you. This was a photo that I took when I was in Florida, and I thought it was brilliant that they even had as a restaurant, like, here's 5 ways to help us, right? And how to get your community involved. Because a lot of times community wants to be involved if they've had a great experience. Or you can just say free beer, and then you're good there too. But, so unless you can do that, then follow the first steps. Brand manifesto. How many of you have created a brand manifesto for your company? Awesome. This is a great opportunity. So it's different than the why statement. It's different than your vision, your mission, your tagline. But this is now putting the heart in your company. And I'm going to give you a couple examples of a brand manifesto. And you can easily Google how to create a brand manifesto. However, I'm going to walk you through the process right now. And here's an example of one. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, you can disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the one thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. This is Apple's brand manifesto. Apple has a great one, Levi's, Nike, several brands have great brand manifestos that you can see some examples. But here's the thing. This is something that is used then by a company. When you write it out, it's not like they're pushing this message everywhere, but it's their center. It's the center of the company. So they know any image that we're putting out, would it match the tone of what we're saying our brand declaration is? This is your declaration of how you're showing up to the world. Every social post, every blog article, every video that we're putting out, does it align with our brand manifesto? It's a good center to really reference back to. Because if we said that craveability, it's that consistency. It's that Lady Gaga, that consistency piece that then allows your audience to truly know how they should feel about you, and you keep showing up consistently to prove it right. So how you create this for yourself. And here's our Now Marketing Group one. And it starts like this. We start with the why, adding your client in to your manifesto. The vision statement, the mission statement, the tagline, all of those things only speak about the company. But if we want our clients to be at the center, because we know they're our best referrals, they're what keep us in business, you write those things out first, and then tie it back in to your brand manifesto. This is the center to make sure that all your marketing messages are aligned. So I'm going to read one more. In the heart of every business lies a story, a vision for the future written long before any transaction takes place. Great businesses are focused on culture led by their visionaries who truly get the power of relationships. Built on a foundation of passion, integrity, and hard work. At times, it simply takes a partner that aligns with their ideals, mirroring their willingness to do the work necessary to drive their vision into reality. Choosing to do what's right, not what's easy. Brands are felt long before they are seen. We're defined by the relationships within the community, the clients, and the teams we serve. Together we generate the ideas that get people talking and the results that keep your business growing. We are fueled by relationships, driven by results, and a catalyst for creativity. Together, we are Now Marketing Group, your partners in digital. It sounds a lot different. It's kind of like the Martin Luther King speech. If he was to say, I have a strategy, doesn't sound as powerful as I have a dream, right? It's adding that emotion into what you're sharing. Here's the thing. Once we have this brand culture built, and this message that's out there, and we know that the conversations are what's growing our business, the other downside is that a lot of these conversations are happening, though, without our knowledge, and this is why it's so important that we get it right when we're pushing that message out. Dark social means that people are sending messages in Messenger, text, Snapchat, things that we can't track as brands, and it's only growing. Even Facebook says the future of Facebook is private. The future of social is private. Have you heard him say that when at that F8 conference? He keeps pushing this out, and this is so true. So we're in this short timeline that we have to get it right now to truly make sure that people can understand what we do, articulate it really well, because they're having these conversations in these private channels. And if we want invited to that party, we have to align and build relationships with people. Because 80% of what's being said about your brand online, you have no idea that it's happening. I mean, how many of you, what do you find that you're using more often now than anything else? I can tell you the #1 app that I'm using right now on my phone is Messenger. It's Facebook Messenger. And then it goes to like Facebook groups, which is still private. I don't know what it's like for you, but think about that when you're writing this down. So in order for us to really monitor the ROI of what we're doing, we have to stop counting the likes. A lot of that's going away anyway, and start counting the conversations. Instagram and Facebook have already started rolling out where they're not going to be sharing the like counts. One, because they know psychology that people, if they see a ton of likes on a post, they're going to like it too. And they know that people are deleting posts that don't receive a number of likes in a certain amount of time. So they're removing these like counts. For brands and for digital marketers that are trying to prove the ROI to a client of them investing in social, this is kind of hard because we're like, no, it's not about the likes anyway. It's about the conversations. So we can start monitoring, measuring conversations. In order to create more conversations, it's all about delight, deliver, and do it again. So I'm going to get into a couple stories on how you can do this. First, Social Media Week Lima. So similar to Lauren, I apparently didn't have enough stuff to do, so I started hosting a conference in little old Lima, Ohio, not Lima, Peru. It's spelled the same way, but with way more trains, cornfields, and no airports nearby. So started this conference, Social Media Week Lima, 8 years ago. This is hosted in a community that has 20,000 people, population 20,000. But we were able to grow this event by having our audience of people that I wanted to connect with at Social Media Marketing World, and started asking them to have s'mores night. So I'm in this big sea of people at Social Media Marketing World. There's like thousands of people there. Instead of just going up and saying, hey, my name is so-and-so, here's what I do, instead I invited them to have a s'mores night and start building these in-person relationships. By doing that, I was able to start offering them some support on what they were doing and then showing up on their live videos, and then invited them to come to Social Media Week Lima to speak. They were willing to travel to Lima, Ohio, then drive to the event because of the relationship that we had, nothing else. Similar to what Lauren's doing here. Because you want to be known as that connector, that person that are bringing people together, and people will be able to support you that way. It also is because we gave them bobbleheads, as a personalized bobblehead as a speaker gift. I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of them are coming to it. But it's that personalized experiences. And then from there, it's everything that you put into it. So I don't recommend this, but this is my team member literally drawing on her computer because she created a custom gift tag, name tag, I should say, for a gift for one of the speakers that their bobblehead bag was in, and she wanted to make it sure that it looked really, really good, so she copied it, put the tag on top of the computer, and traced it out. Nobody was really looking at that tag, right? Like, they're probably just grabbing the speaker gift out of the bag and moving on with their life. But here's the thing. Every little experience like that adds this ripple effect of caring and getting people to care about what you're doing. Sugar Wish, and I'm going to move through these last slides a little quickly here, but Sugar Wish, this is another way that we're showing up to say thank you to others, because every time I have an interaction with someone, I send them a digital candy store evite where they can literally be a kid in a candy store, pick out their favorite candies, and then it's delivered directly to their home address or work address. And what do you think they do as soon as they get that? They take a picture of it and post it on social, and this ripple effect happens. It's little ways of personalizing experiences. And you may think that it's just a one little thing, it's not going to make a big difference, but it does. It has this ripple effect. So think about it, and you don't have to spend money. It doesn't have to cost anything. It could be a voice message that you're sending to someone to tell them happy birthday, instead of just doing that generic thing on LinkedIn that it's like, say so-and-so's birthday, and then you just hit happy birthday. What if you just took one extra second and sent a voice memo to say happy birthday instead? What if you personalize a card and send it to someone in the mail instead? All of these things have a ripple effect, and this is what's going to make a brand more craveable. Next, we need to think of like Amazon. The experience comes down to speed, accessibility, ease of use. Those three things are what customers are looking for. So look through your own sales process and see, where can we reduce some friction points? Where can we add personalization in, but also where can we reduce some friction points? Maybe it's even just making sure your information's accurate when they're searching for you on Google. That Google My Business section that's free, claiming your business, making sure it's easy to get to, and then using that messenger feature on Google My Business. Facebook gives you a free messenger chatbot that you can add onto your website so people can contact you in real time. Using points like that, accessibility, ease of use, making sure that the buying process could be done on your website. And then adding personalized experiences into the mix. This is something I collect crystals. That should have been my fact that I shared with you. But I ordered something on Amazon. The woman sent me the crystals and then sent me a little handwritten note on a heart, how adorable, and just said, thank you for your purchase. I also wanted to give you something else. And she gave me like a little lanyard to put, or necklace to put one of the crystals on. Do you think I gave her a really raving review? Heck yes, because she took the time out. People expect to do what you say you're going to do. So if she would have just sent me the crystals and they were perfect, awesome, that's what I paid for. People don't want to rave about a company just because they've given exactly what they've exchanged for. But if you take a little step extra to do something more, that's what people will pay for. It's like the Disney saying, do what you do so well that people want to see you come back and see you do it again. Next time they'll want to bring their friends. Capture attention, articulate your message. Sorry, I've seen you were taking a picture of that. Articulate your message, build relationships, and focus on exceptional experiences. Yeah, because I moved too much, so I need to spell for that anyway. So think about this and think about, are we a craveable brand? Do we care for our customers? I care a lot, that's kind of my thing, and I definitely want to help all of you build a craveable brand this year. Thank you so much for having me and for the time here today.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. So we're going to go straight into Q&A. So can I just get a show of hands for questions for Jessika? Anybody on how you could? Yes, here in the front. We've got a roaming mic. Hang on one sec. Let's just grab that. Just the lady in the white with the black polka dots.
The awesome pants.
Thank you. My name's Ludwina. I'm just curious about the dark social slide that you talked about and how the communication is leading towards that. So as a business brand, how do we then get our heads around that and understand where that's heading, and then to be able to still penetrate and connect with our market?
Fantastic question. So the key is facilitating the conversation. So giving a spot for your customers to connect and be that destination for them. So it could be from having like a resource center and community engagement spot on your website, or just building a Facebook group, not that directly aligned with your brand, like you don't want to make the Facebook group like your brand name, but something that they would care about. So for example, we were working with a staffing company and we started building a Facebook group for jobs in blank county, right? So where everybody could post jobs there, but we're facilitating the conversation. So people are coming there as that destination point to build a relationship with that brand. That's one way of doing it. The other way is finding brand advocates for you. So placing them strategically so they are facilitating and having more of those conversations. So if you know that you have really diehard customers, give them a VIP extra experience where you're enabling them to maybe get first look at new product launches or services that you have, giving them special offers, things like that. So now you're placing more conversations happening. There are like 2 tools that are kind of pricey that you can monitor some of the dark social, but it's really hard to track. So the key is like, where can we strategically place conversation points so we're the destination that's hosting?
So create your own dark social.
Yep.
Essentially, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No? I actually have a question. Am I allowed a question? So my question is, do you have a surprise and delight budget? Like, where do you budget? Is it in your marketing? Is it, because I do love a bit of that, but I don't think I budget enough for it. So how do you manage that?
I love this question because you honestly need to flip your marketing budget and think about it as, instead of spending it on trying to attract new people, how can we spend our budget to attract the people that are the most profitable and keep our audience in there? So we actually call it a client delight budget instead. And that's where we're spending all of our dollars, is actually in the client delight. And the marketing piece of it is all the organic stuff that we're already doing. So budgeting that in is key. And then, of course, you may still have some Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever that you're doing, but more of your dollars should be spent on the actual delight piece. So,
and do you have a percentage that you're allocating, say, from client revenue?
Yeah, so we tell clients, the old adage is like 20%, but it just depends on their audience. But our key is like building up the organic first too, and aligned with the actual budget that they have, so they can start spending less on ads and more on the client delight time, because it's just investing time instead of dollars. The only time I feel like a company should truly like market is if they have something brand spanking new that they have to get their name out there, and it's proven to be really successful in that aspect. So yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Please thank Jessika.
Thank you.